Hello, everyone. Welcome and thanks for joining our webinar. We're going to get started in about 1 minute. So get your water, let the dog out, do anything you need to do and get comfortable because we have the next 30 minutes to geek out on direct mail and the secret ingredient to increasing revenue throughout the customer lifecycle. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, as promised, we're going to start on time. Welcome again, and thanks for joining our webinar, The Secret Ingredient to Increasing Revenue Throughout the Customer Lifecycle. We're here to show you how you can drive conversion, customer lifetime value, and ROI by integrating direct mail with your online channels for a true omnichannel customer experience. After the presentation, we'll take some questions. You'll see a Q&A on the right-hand side of your screen, so feel free to enter those in throughout the presentation, and we'll get to them at the end. And of course, this webinar is being recorded, and you'll all receive a copy afterwards, so sit back and enjoy. Now, to get us started, I want to do a quick poll. So you're going to see it on your screen in just a second, and we'll give you about 15 seconds to answer. So let me start that off. If you would take a moment and please respond. Okay, about 5 more seconds. Awesome. Let's close that poll. I'm going to hand it over to my partner in crime, Mark. Take us away.
Awesome. Thanks, Kim. So before we dive in, let's talk a little bit about Lob. So Lob provides a complete end-to-end direct mail solution that integrates seamlessly into your digital marketing workflow. We provide APIs for both print and mail, as well as address verification, and then combined with an extensive printing network, templating, and other functionality to give your direct mail the flexibility and efficiency it needs to be more relevant, especially in this digital age. Kim and I will be your lovely hosts today. I am Mark Pinard, the Director of Product Marketing, and Kim Cavassier, who's the Director of Content at Lob. And as Kim mentioned, we love to geek out on all things direct mail, so let's definitely dive in.
Yeah, so companies use direct mail simply because it works. Direct mail has a response rate 13 times higher than email. Direct mail works even better when combined with other channels or other customer interactions. We'll talk a lot about that today. Base direct mail responses are about 6%, but when you communicate with customers who've made a previous purchase, that rate jumps to 18%. And when you combine direct mail with email, you have response rates north of 27%. That's pretty compelling.
So the problem is, though, legacy direct mail provides exceptional value on its own, but it is really hard to integrate it as a channel with the rest of your digital campaigns. With direct mail, you get high response rates, a good ROI that can make a big impact when included as part of your regular marketing workflow. However, you have all these drawbacks that make it harder to integrate more broadly, and it's typically very resource heavy to execute compared to digital channels, and legacy workflows can take roughly about 8 to 12 weeks to get a direct mail campaign out the door. This makes using the offline and online marketing channels together nearly impossible. There's minimal customization, and many marketing teams can't even personalize beyond the customer's name and address. There's also a lack of technical ability to do things like A/B or multivariate tests across multiple creatives the same way you would expect to do with your digital channels. You might also not have a ton of visibility into performance. You can't do direct attribution. You might not even be able to verify the delivery of mail pieces, let alone that they went to the right address. The cost to execute a direct mail campaign can also be unpredictable, given you have to renegotiate for each or in every campaign with your traditional print provider. And batch processing also means you can't really afford to send out smaller, more targeted direct mail campaigns because it increases your per piece cost and then limits your ROI on the back end. Finally, you can't really time box direct mail campaigns to when they will reach your audience like you can with digital ads. So you basically have an unpredictable delivery window. And with all of this, it's very hard to use direct mail marketing to support digital marketing and then vice versa.
Wow, that's a lot of challenges that exist with legacy direct mail. But when you automate your direct mail, you have a tactic that integrates with the rest of your marketing tech stack. Automation remedies the factors that prevent you from using direct mail more fully. It brings the speed, personalization, visibility, cost, and delivery window to a point that can integrate seamlessly with your digital channels. And that's what we're really here to talk about today: how to automate your direct mail and how to use it to increase revenue throughout the customer lifecycle by using your digital channels and your direct mail together. You can think of direct mail as the BFF to your digital channels.
So, on a functional level, it means 100% customizability. Every mail piece you send is completely customizable with images, text, color, offer, layout, and a variety of different form factors such as postcards, self mailers, letters, or card affixes, and so on. That customization enables you to optimize for ROI, conversions, or other performance metrics by testing different variations for different audience segments of just about everything that you send, exactly the same way you would with email. It's also much faster to execute. Once you finalize your design, you can have it in a customer's hands within a week or less, and that takes into account things like printing, addressing, and USPS delivery. Like email, direct email needs to be trackable. That means delivery confirmation and the ability to track ROI with direct attribution. So, for example, if a customer makes a purchase with a promo code you sent in the mail, you should be able to attribute that purchase directly back to that individual customer. It also needs to be automated and triggerable. Send a welcome postcard when a customer makes their first purchase, or send out a promo code when an existing customer hasn't ordered in 30 days, or even something as simple as a birthday card on their birthday. Anything you can trigger with email, you need to do the same for direct mail. Production is also easy and automated. You can just add the content you want, the images you want, and then hit send. After that, you don't have to worry about a thing. You'll know when the campaign has been printed, handed off to the UPS, and then placed in the recipient's mailbox. In fact, I'll even go one step further. You'll be able to create direct mail campaigns using the exact same workflow you use for email campaigns. You'll be able to segment customers, move contacts to different cohorts to nurture or upsell customers automatically. And whether you're pulling data from a CRM, marketing automation platform, point of sale system, or wherever, you have one workflow you can use across all of your marketing campaigns. So the big question around this is that all that sounds great, but honestly, how in the world does Lob do that? Well, it's really simple because we've already built the system for you. Lob provides a complete automated direct mail platform that will replace your legacy manual processes. In a Lob workflow, you design your direct mail creative in HTML, and then we've got a built-in HTML templating system that really streamlines the process, making it easy to design and customize your mail piece. We also have a highly accurate address verification system, which enables you to reliably verify addresses, eliminating the cost of mail pieces going to the wrong recipient. And when Lob is directly integrated with your marketing automation, CRM, CDP, or iPaaS systems, the creatives and addresses are automatically sent to Lob via the API and then sent to our vast printer delivery network for printing and mailing. And the best part is whether you're sending 1 letter or 1 million, your mail piece cost remains the same. You'll receive fulfillment data at every stage of the journey, and you will know when the letter has been received, printed, sorted, and then delivered by the USPS. And because it's integrated with your tech stack, you can then send customers an email when a mail piece is in their mailbox, letting them know a special offer is waiting for them, or even send them a text message to let them know to go and check their mailbox. And of course, you can plug the data back into all the tools you track and reach customers, enabling you to create a true omnichannel profile of that current customer.
Great. And so, for any of you who know me, which none of you do, but if you did, you would know that I'm all about workflows, all about efficiency, and all about getting things done. And that's what I love so much about Lob is it lets you do all of those things like a boss. So, like Mark said, automation makes direct mail way more efficient. Legacy direct mail campaigns often involve dozens of stakeholders doing an array of tasks that are often manual, time consuming, and not integrated with other systems, platforms, or technologies you're using. And that doesn't sound like a very fun way to work or get things done, does it? When you modernize your direct mail with automation, you can eliminate redundancies. That leaves you with a much more agile direct mail process. You can put out a new advertising campaign or change your messaging in near real time just by using an HTML template. No complicated design process, no approving paper proofs. You write it, send it, and your work is done. That sounds awesome. The more efficient workflow means faster mail production and delivery speed. We found that on average, project timelines are reduced by 2/3. Let that sink in. From 6 weeks to only two. Mail's produced 150% or 2.5 times faster. That's a game changer for most organizations. And once you hit send, your mail will be printed and mailed within 48 hours. Because that production is so fast and the turnaround times are consistent, you can get mail pieces delivered on a certain date. That enables you to use direct mail more strategically with your other channels, timing those mail deliveries the same way you would time an email drop, SMS text, ads, or other digital messages. Yep. Back over to you.
Sorry about that. Eliminating the legacy workflow and speeding up the process obviously significantly reduces your production costs, right? So your dedicated direct mail marketing team is now part of your digital marketing team. And your internal workflow for direct mail is no more complex than your workflow for email, which means you can get more done for less. If you partner with Lob, you also get the consistent pricing that I mentioned earlier. Like whether you're sending a single postcard or 1 million, you pay a single per piece rate. That makes spending more predictable and enables you to use direct mail more strategically. You're no longer forced to choose between big mail blasts and high per piece pricing like you are within a legacy workflow. Better yet, with our address verification API, you can also cut failed deliveries to almost nothing. You're no longer depending on internal or third-party address lists that may be outdated or inaccurate, and you can confirm every delivery is a success. You could also track conversions by embedding a custom URL or use QR codes or phone numbers for attribution, which allows you to reduce waste and then track results more effectively. And then lastly, because you're able to send out more timely, relevant, and targeted campaigns and virtually eliminate all the delivery failures, you'll quickly find that you're getting better return on your marketing spend with higher response rates and a better ROI.
So you're hearing some reoccurring themes, aren't you? Efficiency, automation, integration. Arguably, the most significant benefit is your ability to automate your direct mail campaigns and integrate mail into your omnichannel marketing strategy. An automated direct mail program serves as a multiplier for your other direct mail benefits. It means those initial improvements you get, like better targeting, ROI, and faster production speed, keep growing as you optimize your marketing campaigns. Direct mail automation makes the same strategies used for digital channels available for direct mail through integrations. Instead of a clunky tool with fixed limits, direct mail becomes something dynamic that can integrate with your marketing program the same way your digital channels do. To illustrate what I mean, I'm going to take you on a little journey back in time to email marketing. I spent a dozen years working in email marketing before I came to Lab. And in the beginning, email was fairly limited, but over time, it matured and we've been able to expand its capabilities and functionality. The same goes for direct mail. The use of personalization, customization, pre built HTML templates, targeting and segmentation all took email from the basic spray and pray method of communication to one that can be highly targeted today. Automated direct mail has followed suit, maturing from a method that used a lot of manual process to one that's evolved to be effective at scale.
And then when you automate, you gain dynamic, personalized content, including custom images, text, and design, which you can automate and send via integrations. For example, you can integrate it with your e-commerce platform so that you send out a customized thank you postcard when the customer places an order. Or you can use other kind of behavior triggers sends, such as setting an offer when a customer abandons a shopping cart. You can then segment customers automatically and move them around based on the actions that they've taken. That lets you track behaviors among groups of customers and then fine tune your tactics to address the needs of a group, such as first time shoppers or repeated holiday shoppers. You can also optimize through testing like you do with email using either A/B or multivariate testing processes. And then your campaigns get more and more sophisticated as your marketing department does as well. Add direct mail to the tech stack you already depend on, which is a huge value. Lob offers off-the-shelf integrations with CRM and automation platforms like Marketo, Salesforce, and then Salesforce Marketing Cloud. And we're a fully native solution on the Salesforce App Exchange. We also integrate with a lot of other cutting-edge tools like the drag and drop automation platform Trade.io and marketing customer engagement platforms like Braze and Iterable. And with our API, we can work with custom in-house solutions or new solutions that your developers are creating.
Awesome. So now we know what direct mail can do, but what can you do with it? Direct mail is useful throughout the customer life cycle, from acquisition through cross-sell and upsell to retention and customer loyalty. It's useful as a dedicated channel and a way to provide lift to other channels. So now let's dive into some real-life examples. Acquisition campaigns receive a huge lift from direct mail automation. You get better visibility, improvements in your ability to test and target. So you can move from sending those big blasts of direct mail to sending really targeted mail that results in higher conversion rates. RealFlow is a great example. They were founded in 2007 as a tool to streamline the real estate investment process. Over time, it evolved into an integrated marketing platform for real estate investors to help them generate and engage with leads in local home markets. Because direct mail marketing is a tangible form of communication, it has a unique ability to capture its audience's attention, which allows realtors to connect with motivated potential home sellers. However, manual direct mail campaigns lacked insight, which means investors had to run huge, large scale acquisition campaigns to yield any meaningful results. It was inefficient for the real estate investors, including RealFlow and their users, not to mention expensive. Then RealFlow integrated Lob's templating, tracking, and direct mail functionality. Users now had the ability to send highly targeted, personalized mailing. Lob's detailed tracking and analytics allowed their customers to better segment their audiences and measure the campaign performance for each of its cohorts. Now, RealFlow customers were able to send and create highly refined lists, optimize hit rates without having to send as much mail by actively performing A/B testing, which earned higher callback rates. So essentially, boil it all down, they were able to do so much more with so much less. By not having to send these massive, huge campaigns, they were able to send smaller, highly targeted campaigns that resulted in higher hit rates, higher callbacks, and more sales. That's a win-win. You can see the results right on this slide, which is impressive.
So direct mail can really help previous purchases to drive new purchases, whether as part of an upsell, cross-sell, or retention campaign. One company that comes to mind that really nailed this is ThredUp. ThredUp is a rapidly growing online retailer selling a very wide range of secondhand clothing online. And because they had so many different styles of clothing, it was really important to personalize their marketing materials. Before they had found Lob, they tried to use direct mail, but we're not seeing a lot of lift executing it with their current legacy workflow. But with the automation and personalization that Lob unlocked, they were able to do some really sophisticated things with their direct mail campaigns. They profiled customer style choices based on previous purchases and then sent customers mail pieces that featured items that aligned with the styles they'd bought in the past. And that alone increased their purchases by 20%.
All right, let's keep this moving. So retention is top of mind for every marketer. It's near and dear to my heart. We work so hard to acquire new customers. So it's natural that we want them to stick around and pay off those customer acquisition costs, but also increase their lifetime value and the revenue we achieve. Third Love sells high quality intimate apparel, and they recently tested using direct mail in a retention campaign that was a little bit unusual. They tested taking a segment of their email subscribers that had unsubscribed and sent them a direct mail campaign. Their theory was that those consumers who had unsubscribed still wanted to receive offers and promotions from the brand, just not in the form of yet another email. And their retention campaign proved that theory right. They found that the direct mail campaign achieved the best results and the highest response rates with those email unsubscribers. If they had solely relied on email alone, those customers would have been lost forever and out of touch and out of reach. That's the power of using modern automated direct mail with your other channels.
So now that we've kind of gone through some examples of how other companies are using direct mail effectively, we want to kind of dive into some tips for optimizing your own direct mail campaigns. And as we mentioned earlier, one of the best things you can do to increase the effectiveness of your marketing is to integrate direct mail as part of that. Whatever metric you're combining, digital and direct mail is going to deliver better results. When direct mail and digital channels are used together, you see a 68% increase in website visits, 63% more response rates, 60% higher ROI, and 53% more leads. And it even increases in asset downloads and foot traffic in physical stores.
Yeah, and I think one key thing, and I really want to call it out now, is if you take one thing away from this whole webinar, we are not telling you not to do email. We're not telling you not to do anything else. What I think the mantra from this webinar is using direct mail alongside the other channels and the other tactics that you're using to create this whole omnichannel marketing approach and strategy because they are stronger together. Direct mail gives you another touch point. It enables you to optimize your other channels to ensure you get that most bang for your buck. Remembering that third love example that I just talked about, companies usually experience between a 1 to 3% unsubscribe per email sent. That adds up to a lot over time. So, with using direct mail as part of your strategy, you can send fewer emails so you don't risk losing that audience due to email fatigue, especially during Q4 when email volume ramps up significantly. Now, automated direct mail also gives you the opportunity to hone your strategy by testing. At Lob, we call this ABT, or always be testing. The simplest kind of testing is A/B testing, where you can split a portion of your audience into two groups. Let's say in this example that you send a postcard to one group with personalized images of a product they may have bought in the past, while the other group would get a more generic image. If you find that the group with the personalized images makes 10% more purchases a month, you could attribute that lift to that personalization. Another type of testing is multivariate testing, which you're all pretty familiar with. It's when you change multiple factors at the same time. The challenge with multivariate testing is that because you're changing multiple factors at once, you might not always know what's making the difference. However, it can still be a really useful way to experiment with new ideas quickly and see what works.
To continue running on that actual testing theme, so the other big portion of this is that you should also make use of different form factors available to optimize the performance of your direct mail campaigns. Lob offers kind of three different sizes of postcards: a 6x4, a 6x9, and a 6x11. And as kind of like a public announcement, the USPS has recently increased their maximum size limit for first class postcards to 6x9, which allows you to send big, beautiful postcards and gives really more real estate for your message and branding at an affordable price. We also have self mailers in three sizes: a 6x18, a 12x9, and our latest release of 11x9. And then Cardifix mailings are our latest and greatest form factor that Lob just released earlier this week. And it allows you to have a physical card attached to your letter, giving it more bulk and increasing likelihood of get opened. We also included return envelopes with tracking and beta, and a lot more coming up in 2022 that allows you to expand your portfolio of what you're testing and utilizing from a form factor perspective.
So, we live in a digital world and we have conditioned consumers to come, expect, need, and demand highly personalized, highly customized customer experiences. Automated direct mail gives you the power to respond to customer behavior, significant dates, and other factors that affect customer purchasers. The more you can integrate these kinds of triggers into your direct mail program, the more successful you can be. A common use case, especially this time of year, is abandoned shopping carts. To combat this, you might create a trigger that sends customers a postcard with a 30% discount when they abandon a cart. When they get that postcard a few days later, it might be just enough to bring them back to checkout. Dates and milestones are also popular use cases. You can use customer birthdays. We've all received those. I actually love the half birthday offers that I get because it's so unexpected. Holidays or even shop anniversaries, which are celebrating a year since they made their first purchase. Timing mailings around purchase intervals can also be useful, especially for retention. So, if your data shows that customers who go 30 days without a purchase may be likely to churn, try sending them a catalog or an offer 25 days after they made their last purchase and mitigate that churn. Finally, time and coordinate your direct mail with your other channels to give that turbo boost we've been talking about. Don't just send an email, send an email announcing the product, followed by a direct mail piece for that 1-2 conversion punch.
So another huge value of Lob, and something that's near and dear to my heart, is the sustainability of it. If you partner with Lob, you can take advantage of our sustainability practices, which can help you meet your own organization's sustainability goals. And through our sustainability, lob.org, we offset our paper consumption by planting significantly more trees than we use each month. In fact, we've planted more than 200,000 trees since 2017, which is more than twice what we've used for all the mail that we've sent. We also use paper certified by the Forest Stewardship Council and then incorporate post-consumer waste recycling into our paper whenever possible. And then we work with our partners to reduce waste through more sustainable and strategic use of direct mail.
This has been a lightning round. We're 6 minutes out. So, to wrap up, as we've talked about, when you modernize your direct mail, it becomes a channel that creates a ton of value and generates revenue throughout the customer lifecycle. In acquisition, an automated direct mail program can target consumers extremely effectively using your own or third party data, resulting in lower customer acquisition costs and more ROI. In upselling and cross selling, it enables you to deliver well timed messages using what you know about your customers' past preferences and purchases and getting them to convert to other products, increasing their lifetime value. And direct mail can help you prevent churn and retain the customers you've worked so hard to acquire so you can keep generating revenue from them again and again. And that's the power of automated direct mail. That's a wrap for our presentation. I'd love to finish with one last poll so we can make sure you're all still there. I'm going to put it up on the screen now and just give you about 30 seconds to answer. And then after that, we'll jump right into Q&A. I've seen a few questions come in. And if you stick around, we'll have a really nice handout for you at the end. Give it a couple more seconds. All right. Excellent. Let's jump into our QA. All right, Mark, you there? I have a question for you that came in that's an interesting one.
I'm here.
With all of the different form factors that we discussed, interested to know if there's any certain form factor that goes better with a use case over others. Is it a postcard? Is it a self mailer? What do you see working best?
I think it honestly depends on what your offer is, what your brand is, what your campaign is. We obviously see a lot of traction within postcards, and self mailers have been hugely popular. Self mailers because it gives more real estate for brand awareness and whatever you're trying to tell, and put the offer there, and more room for creative in general. Postcards are a simple way just to get something out and obviously have a special offer on there, and it's a little bit smaller, a little more easier to execute. So it all really kind of depends, honestly. Cardifix is great, especially for financial services companies that physically want that padded envelope in which it kind of sticks out in the mailbox, and when a customer's sifting through their mail, it feels like it's something that they should open and is important. But it really all depends on what you're trying to execute and the level of campaign, the amount of information that you want in the creative itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And we wouldn't be marketers if we didn't say it depends. I have another question
For
that
sure.
came in around, we talked a lot about marketing and marketing use cases here, of course. Are there other uses like transactional mail and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of we do actually handle quite a bit of operational mail as well. So if you're a financial services company sending out monthly statements, that is something that a huge value of Lob is that you can integrate that directly within your workflow for it to be triggered and automated based on a record change or a time of the month or whatever it might be. The other thing is for insurance claims. So processing checks and sending out checks has been a huge pain point for some insurance companies, and Lob allows you to automate that too. So we do the printing and mailing of the checks and the fulfillment on that side. Huge benefit there is that it kind of arms your customer support teams with the delivery data of what that check is. So one of the values of Lob is that we have a direct integration with USPS in which we can see every kind of mail delivery scan along the way. And then that last scan when it's actually handed into the mailbox itself. So when a customer support is armed with that and a customer calls and asks where their check is, which obviously is hugely important to them, they have the understanding of where it is within the mail system, which I think is great.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's
for
huge.
sure.
That's
Automating the
huge.
operations side is a big portion of what we do as well.
Very cool. Well, without further ado, I want to thank everyone for attending today. And also, if you want to continue to spice up your direct mail, we'd love to have you join us for a super fun event. It's called Hot Sauce and Success with Direct Mail Pros. That's going to happen on December 9th. We'll send you a link and a follow-up email from this webinar where you can register. But we are going to send you, if you register, a really nice collection of hot sauces, which you can taste alongside our direct mail pros while we dish lots of spicy secrets on how to improve your direct mail. So we'd love to have you join us on December 9th. With that, this is a wrap. Thank you so much for coming today.